question from a lady. What did American Jews do about Hitler's ovens? And the answer is Jews. American Reform Jew, and some years later, when she attempted a second interview, so the same thing happened again. Now, I'm not able to vouch for anything. I'm merely telling you what this report I wrote. A third time she refused to come. Stephen Wise had the ear of President Roosevelt, and he was a leader of American Jewry. Everybody bows before Stephen Wise. He was not only the president of the American Zionist Organization, he was the president of everything. And what he said, Roosevelt obeyed. Stephen Wise stymied, he prevented, he obstructed any action of any kind to help the Jews in Europe. This is documented. If you want, you can buy a copy of Perfidy and read the entire story, black on white, with names and dates and places. Again and again, when attempts were made to get some help, Stephen Wise was the one who stood in the way and prevented anything from being done. At that time, Jews were being transported every day to the crematoria, and they were being burned at the rate of 20,000 a day. What did a very small number of truly Orthodox Jews do? They created a Vaad Hatzalah, a committee to rescue Jews, but they didn't have any means, because the very Orthodox, way back, didn't have any money. And they succeeded in saving a number of Jews. They actually rescued Jews because Hitler's henchmen could be approached. If you wanted to, you could approach them. And money opened doors. Now, money wouldn't appease Hitler, but money could appease Himmler. And they were negotiating with Himmler to rescue Jews. But their means were so pitifully poor that they could only rescue small numbers. The Jews had the big money, had no interest, and they listened only to Stephen Wise. And that's why Americans, not only American Jews, America did nothing, because there was no movement to influence the American government to do anything. America could have sent just one bomber, and he could have destroyed the tracks leading to the Auschwitz crematorium, because the plans were mailed by diplomatic pouch to the State Department, and they knew exactly how to pinpoint one bomb could have done the trick. But the State Department, besides being Goyim, and Goyim are not much interested in saving Jews anytime, but they were under the influence of Stephen Wise, and therefore nothing at all was done. If you'll read Perfidy, you'll see that he wasn't alone. Ben Gurion and Golda Meir and Shertak the Sharet all were in this plot. And their plan was do nothing to save European Jewry in order that after the war, we should be able to claim, as reparations for our great losses of human lives, we should be able to claim a bigger claim on the state of Israel and Palestine. That's their words, verbatim. Don't do anything now, it'll spoil our chances to bargain at the peace table. And one of them said, better one goat in Eretz Yisrael than a whole village of Jews in Europe. The story is horrible. It's unbelievable. It's written in Perfidy. It's terrible to read it in Perfidy. But even Perfidy, you have to know, was not the first edition. When he really wrote this story, he discussed it with his friends. They were no good friends. And the friends told him, no, it's too terrible to publish. So he wrote a second, a toned-down version. But it's terrible enough. And we advise you to get it, if you can, and you'll discover something about these great men who are so-called leaders of the Jewry, not only in America, all over the world. The Jewish Agency and the Zionist Organization, and all these people were the ones who prevented any action to save Jews. When Jews could be bought from Romania at $70 a head, Stephen Wise was the one who didn't permit it. When Roosevelt was about to take action to save some Jews because there was pressure on him, and he sent his emissary to London, the Zionists in London told, you're a traitor. he wires back